Hey guys, and welcome to another schematic update. This time we want to talk about Frostpunk, more specifically about the just released roadmap for Frostpunk 2018, and for that I'm joined by Cleave and Blind. Hey guys.
Hello.
What's up?
So this time it's gonna be a little bit different because me and Cleave played the game. Blind didn't because of visual issues. So Blind is basically introducing the topics and we gonna answer at our best.
Okay, so the first new addition that we have here is Survivor, which is a new mode, and they claim that it's bringing a new challenge, basically a list of modifiers to make things harder. So I would like to know, what kind of things would you like to see from this?
I don't know what I would like to see, but I can guess at what things they're going to probably add. Stuff like producing less resources, people requiring more food over time, maybe making it so houses or, the housing facilities hold less people, so you need to build more buildings, lowering the radius on the heaters, and increasing the amounts of coal used, or lengthening the amount of time it takes to research, stuff like that.
I would love to see unpredictable events like randomly malfunctions on, for example, heaters.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there aren't breakdowns in the game, are there?
Yeah.
There's automaton breakdowns randomly.
True.
You get that event where it's like the automaton crushed some dude, and what do we do?
I want to see malfunctions and maybe like snowstorms and stuff like that randomly occurs. In general, I want to have more random events.
So I'm wondering if this is a modifier on the way that you play the scenarios, or something on top of what we're going to talk about later, which is like the endless mode.
That's a good question.
Yeah, they just say that, the game is a little bit too easy for people who are really good, so they want to add some more stuff.
Yeah.
So that's cool. If people are enjoying playing the game, but it's a little bit too easy for them, then why not make the game harder for them? Let's bring it on.
True, and we need to point out this is coming next month, so June.
Yeah, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
But not tomorrow. June's tomorrow.
Yeah. The next thing we got on the list here is people and animations and some basic customization options. This is, as somebody who didn't play much of the game, I'm almost shocked that this wasn't just in the game in the first place. It just seems like you can name people and your automatons, customize some things a little bit more. Personality is great, customization is great, options are great.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to say about this other than cool. I was surprised you couldn't do it in the beginning. I actually tried. I tried to rename people. Like, one of the first things I did when I loaded up the game.
I feel like that's a thing that gets overlooked a lot, at least right now. I know BattleTech had the same problem. Okay, so the next thing we got here is number 3, which is the Builders. It's a new scenario. This is, as they state, the most substantial update for 2018. It's a brand new scenario with its own story and challenge. What would you like to see from a new scenario? Like, is there anything that is currently unexplored that they could potentially do with this format?
That's actually a very, very tough one because...
Quite possibly, yeah.
I don't have anything I really want from a scenario.
I was intrigued by the stories that were presented in the scenarios.
The writing all looked interesting.
They were interesting. They presented interesting challenges. Just another interesting story would certainly get me to load up the game again and try it out.
I definitely agree. I don't want to criticize the game too much because that's not the right episode for that. But I wished it was more random, like the events happening in the new scenario.
Well, I think we're going to get that with Endless Mode, right?
So the next thing we've got here on the list is Endurance, which is a new game mode. And as you were saying, you wanted a more random mode. As written here, one of the major requests from the community was to implement some kind of endless or sandbox mode. The Endurance game mode is their response to this. They're going to kind of put their own spin on it. So that, I think, is probably going to be what Adfo is looking for out of Frostpunk.
Endless Mode is something that a lot of people expected the game to have on launch. I was a little bit surprised that it didn't, but once I played the game, I understood why they didn't do it, but I still wanted it.
I'll say the bonus of having something like an Endless Mode, even though Frostpunk was an inherently story-based game, it keeps people playing. You still have a baked-in player base that's still playing the game frequently. And then on the side of that, it just keeps people's interest up. And I think that an Endurance Mode in a game like this is always a good thing.
I think Endurance Mode is a great addition to the game because the game itself is built to be very challenging for people, and Endurance Mode is one of those things where people can point to and say, look, I've made it to day 100, 150, 200, so on and so forth, and with X Survivor modifiers on my colony as well, so then you can start challenging people, and it can start to build a nice niche community around a game that would otherwise die, because let's face it, story-based games are great, but once you play the story, it's over.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we are more looking for an endless mode than a sandbox mode because I think the game mechanics aren't that challenging per se.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to a sandbox mode.
You'd need more like a wave-based challenge mode.
Well, no, just something more where you don't have endless resources, essentially, and you have to manage your resources. Or, do we care about spoiling the story? I don't think we do. The conclusion of the scenario is essentially you have like this massive storm coming in and you have to get supplies for the storm. And then when the storm comes, you have to have X number of people live through the storm. If you do, then you win. And if you don't, then you lose. And then in the other scenario, it's like you have to live till X amount of time and get your economy built up to a certain point before this date. And if you do, then you win. And if you don't, then you lose. And that's it. So without those major events, you just want to kind of play the game and just have temperature go up and down, and, you know, like Adfo said, maybe potentially have like mini storms that come in. You know,
just have it more RNG based.
Yeah, maybe they need to add a couple more buildings or a little bit more research to allow, you know, more things to happen and for you to be able to overcome certain things.
I would love to see mini storms like that last for 2 days maybe, and all that they does is that people can't work. For example.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, people can't work for 3 days or 2 days or whatever. Do you have enough food and coal to survive?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then just have that, you know, have the ebb and the flow of the temperature just take control and not have it constantly building to always get colder and colder and colder and colder, which is how the scenarios are set up.
Absolutely.
What's weird is there are like cool mechanics in the game.
Definitely.
But you don't ever really get to super explore them that deep because the scenario story is always pushing you towards doing something else.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's a hard choice you need to make that causes you to not be able to do the cool thing that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Whereas so in endless mode, you're going to be able to just say, fuck it, I'll do whatever I want.
I agree, especially with the point that the story pushes you forward.
Next thing we've got here on the list is snapshots. So essentially they're adding a photo mode. They then brag that their game's pretty, which it is.
It's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So they're adding a photo mode. Would you use a photo mode?
Yeah, sure. The photo mode in Surviving Mars is really nice, and I use that. Yeah, why not?
If the photo mode makes me go closer to the people, yes, I will use it.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I really don't like how the zoom level is in the game.
Yeah, me neither.
I hated that.
I really wish you could zoom right into the ground.
The way it snapped was part of the reason I started feeling nauseous playing the game. And then basically, beyond that, they just say that they're going to continue updating the game and working on the game. Smaller updates are going to come out with less fanfare. Bigger updates like this, we'll get similar announcements, and follow them on social media to keep updated.
So all this is coming within the next 30 days or so?
Yes, this will all be out in June.
No. Survivor mode is coming out in June, and the rest is coming.
I see. Okay, further down the line. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's kind of lame that it's going to take them more than a month to figure out how to rename people.
Yeah.
Yikes.
At least that's what I'm getting from this saying here.
No, you're right. I'm looking at it now, and it says June on Survivor mode, and then things are further down the road. Good call.
Anyway, guys, I think we're done here. For our listeners and viewers, thanks a lot for listening and viewing. If you want to support us even more than just watching this video, you may want to consider heading over to Coffee to buy the editor a coffee so he can stay up all night editing this wonderful video and videos to come in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching again. See you next time. Bye.
Later.
Bye.